Hey gang, it's Deltia from deltiasgaming.com, and I wanted to do a quick video here on parsing or testing out your DPS in Elder Scrolls Online. Currently there's no system in place to actually have a training dummy or something that you can just beat on and test, but there is one situation in Spindleclutch Veteran Dungeon, and that's in Wayrus at the Daggerfall area. We fight a Gargoyle that really allows us to kind of test our DPS for about 60 seconds or more, depending on who we bring, or test your healing as well. So I like this setup for really pushing the limit as far as DPS. So let me show you how it's done. We're in Spindleclutch Dungeon at the moment, which is in the Daggerfall area on the northwestern side of the map. In Daggerfall, and that's the Spindleclutch dungeon that we're in. This is the area that allows us to get to the Gargoyle pretty fast within a few minutes, a couple of trash pulls, we can skip a boss. It's part of the gold key achievements for the Undaunted pledges, so you're probably going to have a lot of shots at this. Plus the Gargoyle drops the blood spawn head, which is pretty valuable. So in this video, like the beginning here, we're just going to show you how to get there, the most effective way to get there, and then what it looks like to parse our DPS. This isn't a perfect system by any means, but it's what probably most people find probably the most effective, realistic approach to getting this done. A couple things to keep in mind. If you're parsing for a 4-man group, it's going to be different than if you're parsing for like a trials area. Reason why, there's probably going to be a lot more buffs and debuffs on a group of 12 people versus a group of 4. So you might want to try to simulate this by having certain people run combat prayer, just some destruction and restoration staff abilities like Siphon Spirit, Elemental Drain, Mark Target, the list goes on and on. Even Aggressive Warhorn. Some of these abilities you'll find in a trial setup where you'll have dedicated people doing buffs and debuffs, Ignis weapons from the Dragonknight skill tree, a bunch of different things. So you have to factor that into your DPS setup. But this will give you a realistic approach as we kill some of these trash mobs here. Okay, so we make our way further into the dungeon, and this is the boss you can skip on the left-hand side, Mad Morty. You don't even have to sneak, but I just do it just to be careful. I just hump the wall to the right, get through without a problem, and really there's just one more trash bowl to do this. At this point, I usually save up my ultimate, make sure that I have an ultimate going into this, because usually you're going to have an ultimate fighting a boss for a minute or more, so I think it's a part of my DPS test, though some people may tell you otherwise not to do it, so forth, but I really think dropping ultimates and timing them appropriately is a big part to getting a realistic approach on what your damage is going to be. So in this video, I'm using my new build I released the other day, Overdose, which is a Nightblade bow build, and I hit I think 1200 damage, which I can do 1400, but being in the video I was under pressure and in TeamSpeak and doing all sorts of stuff. So let's just show you what this looks like. Alright, got these guys down. Now we go into the room where the Gargoyle spawns. So you want to get, usually get in sneaked for a big opener, and then make sure that your resources are up, you have your buffs, your potions off cooldown, and the tank is ready to go when you say you're ready to go. The nice thing about this parse is that the Gargoyle has enough hit points to really get a sense of what your damage is going to be over 60 seconds or more. You can get a lot less if you have really hot DPS on the other target, but it's really a minute plus to see what you're at. As you can see, our healer Javahu back here is running combat prayer to increase our damage, kind of like simulating a trials. So right here I'm using my potions off cooldown. I'm at 1500 DPS I think. And it goes down as I miss a couple of weaves. For some reason I just stopped attacking. I couldn't target the boss. That's why I used tab target. So the best thing to do is reset this and practice a lot. It also drops that blood spawn helmet, which is really advantageous for a tank. So a lot of tanks are going to want to do this over and over and over. The fast way to reset this is essentially drop group while you're in the dungeon and re-invite everyone. It'll reset the instance and let you go again. So it takes only 4 or 5 minutes to do this, and it gives you a real good idea of what you can actually expect damage-wise. as I go do my finishing route. I think I'm at about 1200 DPS, so not bad, but I really need some more practice in kind of getting this single target down. And this is the way to do it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I really like this setup for parsing, and I think that it can be advantageous for when you're testing out to see what you're realistically at. Thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe and check out my site, deltiasgaming.com.